Big day this Monday morning. I need help. Keith Fitz is with us. Scott Martin's with us. Jackie DeAngelis and Ashley Webster. President Trump and China's Xi Jinping go to the G20 summit at the end of this month. All right, Keith, you say we will get a trade deal. Is that part of the reason why this market's rallying so much? And tell us why you think we get a deal.
Well, the questions are interconnected, but yes and no. I think we will get a trade deal because the two nations need each other an awful lot more than we're seeing in the public. What you're seeing is posturing, it's classic negotiating strategy, high probability for a deal when they meet at the G20, because that's logically when these two sides are going to actually make some decisions. As far as the markets go, you've got forward-looking mechanisms, you've got mergers like this, you've got capital on the move. Traders are saying, I've got to get ahead of what happens next. If this continues, it's a change in narrative and one I've been looking for a long time. I hope people have gone shopping like you and I've talked about.
And you think it is a factor on the market this morning, right?
Yep.
Okay. Let me move on to Scott Martin. I can see how the Fed is helping drive this market, how the absence of tariffs on Mexico is driving the market. I can see how China trade optimism is driving the market. Have I missed something out? Because we're up 168 right now. Scott.
The deal-making too, Stuart, which you mentioned with Keith there, is definitely on the table. Yeah, I think the resolution with Mexico is good. Yeah, 2 rate cuts possibly, guys, maybe 3 this year from the Fed is really feeding, I think, risk assets. And I got to disagree with Keith, though. I don't think a deal's coming. I mean, June 28th is going to be a big day in American history because it's actually my birthday as well.
Oh, boy.
And here's the other thing. Yeah, and it's going to be totally ruined because they're going to come away with no deal. I think China's going to play the long game with us, guys. I think this is going to last into the fall.
That will be very difficult to see. The idea that they'll walk away with nothing.
It could happen.
It could happen, but you know I think that's a stretch.
There's a growing sense that they will eventually get something, but it's not going to be great. Both will walk away with something, and you can ask yourself, well, what did we really achieve? Maybe. I don't know whether the president will want to settle for that. But look, the 10-year yield up to 212 now.
Oh.
Wow. Woo! Some money coming out of the bond market, going back into equities.
Doesn't it look so different now to what it was last Monday?
What a difference a week makes.
Whoa,
I mean, it's dramatic. And I think the Mexico deal is a huge impact, having a huge impact on the market today. And I think the way President Trump negotiated that gives us a little bit of a window of how he's probably going to continue to negotiate with China. He probably is, I think, going to take a hard line, which does push this potentially to the end of the summer.
Okay, all right, okay.
Totally.
But look, we're up 174 points as we speak. You add that to the 1,170 points that we went up last week, and you're looking at about a 1,300-point gain for the Dow from last Monday to this Monday's opening bell. Now, that's a huge rally.
After 6 weeks before that of real down markets week after week.
Now, let's get to the Raytheon and the United Technologies get together. It'll create a deal of about, $100 to $120 billion. That's the value of this combined company. You know, Keith, I want to bring in Microsoft into this because Microsoft is worth $1 trillion. How do you explain one software company worth $1 trillion and a mega defense company worth 1/10 of that? Doesn't that tell you a lot about today's economy?
Yes.
Yes, it does, because you can add a line of code and contribute a couple $100 million to your top and bottom lines. But don't forget, Microsoft is actually very active in the defense community. So both United Technologies and Raytheon are going to bring along Microsoft. They're also going to bring along lots of other defense contractors because the environment, people don't understand this who've never had to work in a mission-critical environment, but you don't just pick up something and take it in like a missile or an instrument. It's all integrated systems, which means that there are lots of other players that are going to come into play as a result of this deal.
Okay, let's look at the big board again because we now have a gain of about 180 points. That's, okay, 0.7%, but that's a huge gain. 181 up, 26,000.
Yeah, just adding on to last week. Well over 1,000 points up on the Dow last week.
Just adding
continuing
to it.
Yeah, they have a Fed insurance policy. So,
I mean,
that's right. The market likes it.
Better look at GameStop. a casualty last week. We actually played organ music saying the thing was going to go away. Well, they've agreed to buy back up to 12 million of their own shares. Yeah, our producer is saying it's a buy signal when you play the organ music. Well, maybe so. They're going to buy back maybe 12 million shares. The stock's up 9%, but still at $5.47. Right, the Dow component, Merck, buying a biotech startup that focuses on cancer treatment. No impact on the stock. Merck is actually down a little. Specialty drug maker Insys files for bankruptcy. The stock is at 74 cents per share, down 43%. Insys makes a fentanyl spray under the tongue for cancer pain.
That's right.
Out. Here is the price of oil this morning, $54 per barrel. Here's the price of, this is the point here, here's the price of gas this morning. You're all the way down to $2.74, falling like a stone. Look, I think that is very good news for the economy and probably for the market. Where am I going? Oh, you're nodding your head. Am I wrong?
No, of course not. Any extra money in your pocket is a good thing.
Of course he's not wrong.
Of course, well, right, on this issue. Yeah.
On this issue.
Even if you were wrong, Stuart, we wouldn't say it, so don't worry about it. You know, you're right, though. It's a good point to learn, guys. Think about all the processing time, though, too, for companies. How much time and how much money they spend on, say, sending things around the country. Lower fuel prices help them as well.
It's got to be, and I think that comes down to an average price of $2.50 a gallon relatively quickly. In other words, down another quarter. I think it's coming. That's just, I'm saying that. The chief guy at Uber, Dara Khosrowshahi, he's taking direct control of operations after the disappointing IPO. No impact from the stock there, on the stock, I should say. What's going on with this, Keith? I would have thought that Uber should have been rising with the rest of the market. Why not?
Well, people are beginning to realize the emperor has no clothes, like you and I have talked about for a long time. This company was a train wreck for years. It's been a train wreck. It's still going to be a train wreck. It's nothing fancy, and I think that millions of consumers are going to pay a terrible price. Taking over as CEO for a losing proposition that can't make money in the first place?
I think you're totally wrong. I would be buying Uber at some point in the very near future. I want to get into a brand new industry, whether it makes money or not in the early going. I'm going to buy that thing at some point soon.
You still haven't done it, have you?
Wow. I haven't done it yet.
Pull the trigger. All right.
But with all the money we've made on Microsoft,
I was going to say, use a bit of that.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. New generation of companies.
That's my advice.
I might try that. A quick deal here. FedEx, they're going to stop air shipments for packages for Amazon. This is about Amazon ramping up its own delivery business. FedEx doesn't want to help them. FedEx this morning is up 340.
This is interesting.
Amazon's up 37.
I mean, Amazon has been expanding. It's buying planes. It's began a sorting hub at 2 different airports. And do you remember we did this story recently where it's encouraging people to start their own delivery business with Amazon vans blazed down, you know, the Amazon sign down the back of, on the side of the vans. So bottom line is they know, FedEx knows this is happening. A big competitor ultimately to FedEx and UPS.
Next case, Beyond Meat. Look at this. This thing is still on a tear. This morning it's up 11%. $154 per share, up 15 bucks. Keith, I don't think this is a bubble. What do you say?
Well, I can't answer for a bubble per se on this particular stock. Strikes me that it's gotten a little ahead of itself. But you know what? This is the future of food. We've got the next billion people coming onto our planet. We're going to have to be creative. We're going to have to be nutritious. And we're going to have to be very serious about quality. So to me, this is the future, and it's being signaled right now with all of the interest in this particular stock.
This is the future of food. Now, there's quite a statement. What do you make of that, Scott?
Yep.
I love thinking about the next billion people that are coming onto this planet and we have to feed them well. I'll tell you, here's the thing, though. Admittedly, I have had the Beyond Burger, and it's pretty good, but I think I probably ruined it by putting bacon on top of it, but I still did eat it like a burger. So, look, it was good enough for me, and I think I'd buy some more.
Was it fake bacon?
Well,
no, real bacon. That's the thing. I mean, I felt terrible.
Look, granted, the stock may have gotten a little ahead of itself, but the interest that it's generated is absolutely spectacular.
Was it $140 billion industry in the next 10 years? Wasn't that one of the predictions?
It's here to stay.
Like
yeah. People are looking for alternative options, and this is sort of just the beginning, I think.
Fascinating. Oh, look at the time. 9:40 Eastern Time. I'm sorry, Scott and Keith, got to say goodbye to you, but thanks for fine work on a Monday morning. And look at this rally. Just look at it.